saw a couple of quotes and people saying, "Oh yeah, I watched Port Vale yesterday. They were shit. They were shit. So how's he going to be a good manager?" And it's just like, well, you've watched one game, mate. So you know what I mean? You could watch Liverpool at the weekend and go, "Oh, they were shit against Brighton. That Klopp must be awful."
Here we go. It's Eat My Goal. We are back. We are back once again like a renegade master. Yes, we are. This is Eat My Goal. This is the football podcast that takes a lighter look at the world of football. And in this episode, we take a lighter look at our team, which is Portsmouth, which it's difficult to take a lighter look at Portsmouth at the moment. Dan, isn't it? By the way, I'm Mike. He's Dan. Hi, Daniel.
Hi. Yes, it is difficult to take a lighter look at Pompey.
Yeah. Just for those who aren't aware, Portsmouth are currently 3 months without a win. Our last episode, we said about if the manager's going to go, we didn't expect he would do, but if he was going to go, it's had to be within the next 24 hours. Within the next 24 hours, he did go. And we recorded that was 16 days ago, and we still have no manager. And we've lost every game since. So it's all right, isn't it? It's all right.
Yeah. It's poo, isn't it, really?
Do you know what compounded my misery at Portsmouth Football Club? And I'll see if I can find it. I do have it to hand. Here it is. Right, so this is what compounded my misery at Portsmouth Football Club. So I travelled and drove to the Tottenham game not 2 weeks ago. On the 7th of December, in fact, 10 days ago.
And I can see where this is going already. I can see where this is going.
And yesterday I got a little treat through the post, right? Yeah. Because I got lost on the way back. So I just followed SatNav, didn't I? I just followed Google Maps and went where it told me to go. Guess what I got from Haringey District Council?
Yay.
I got
what were you doing?
charge. Well, apparently I went down a road that was not for penalty charge with respect to the body, prohibition of vehicles, non-motorised vehicles.
Not even a speeding. I thought it was going to be a speeding.
No. Non-motorised vehicles down this road. Ironically, I only went down that road because I could see on the Google Maps that the roads ahead were not for motorised vehicles. So I turned down that road thinking I was safe on that one. But no, that's just cost me £65.
What shit! It's so shit, isn't it? It's so shit. Oh, what can we do? Oh, I know. There's a road. Let's say no motorised vehicles.
No motorised vehicles.
Yeah, I put a really tiny little sign that people can't see in the dark, and then we'll just get 65 quid every other day, or
I'm going to see if you can see
one
this.
Or two a day.
I don't know if you will be able to see it, but you can't see it. You can't see it. But the irony is, my car's the front car there, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 cars in the picture following me.
Brilliant.
They did it right that day, didn't they? Nice.
Yeah. Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that was I kind of was on a bit of an up from that game because it was a good game. We played well. What's happened since?
Yeah. Well, so so the 2 games against Bolton, wasn't it?
2 games against Bolton?
1-0 and 3-0. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Even though this is a football podcast, I watched the first half an hour of the 3-0 game.
Yeah.
Obviously, I won't talk about the 1-0 game because we did such a fantastic live commentary of it last week.
In-depth analysis, wasn't it?
Yeah. The 3-0 game, I watched the first half hour, and then my younger son had a party. And I wasn't going to take him to it. I was going to let the wife take him. And I said, I'll fucking take him. Yeah, I'm off. And it's just every game, isn't it? It's every game. And within 5 or 10 minutes now of the game, whether this is going to be a shower of shit or not. Yeah. And it was just the first few minutes, it was just, we looked like we're going to struggle. And then as soon as that first hilarious goal went in, it was just, I just can't understand. I know I say this every single week, but there's something going on at the club. There's something rotten in that club that's stopped able-bodied footballers to be able to play well as they did for the first 10 games of the season. because it's the same players, it's the same formation usually, but they can't seem to play football anymore. Is that not correct?
As I said at the beginning, this is the light-hearted look at football.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. It's just, it's. Here's a question, and we'll come on to Twitter later, but over the last few weeks, I have read a lot of Twitter, and a lot of the things that are being said is that, bearing in mind, let's look at the first 10 games. We are unbeaten. We are second. Up until the Plymouth game, we weren't necessarily always playing well, but we're doing okay. In the games we weren't playing well, we're grinding out results, and in the games we were playing well, we were playing really well, I thought. Yep. And then suddenly it changes. So now the thing is, they are the same players that are playing, and now and at that stage, people were saying it's probably the best squad I've seen that we've had in League One so far. Exactly. It's the most in depth. We've got competition for places, and now we've had a horrendous run, and let's not kid ourselves. A horrendous run. We are lowest on the last. We are lowest on the league form tables in both 6 and 10 games. Understandably, we haven't won for God knows how long. Even Forest Green, who are bottom of the league and the last team we beat, are above us in the form table marginally. But it's the same players, and now people are saying we've not invested in the squad. We've got the worst squad that we've had in League One. The League Two squad that we had that won the league is better than the squad we had now, which, in some cases I'd say it's not inaccurate, because Matt Clark and Jamal Lowe would certainly walk into this team. Yeah. I mean, so probably with Ronan Curtis of that day.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I've been reading a lot on Twitter, and I don't try and go down the same path as a lot of our fickle football fans. And I know football fans are fickle in general, and I know we all want to be winners and we want the best for our team. But yeah, there does seem to be this sort of change of opinion, and pundits do it anyway. Professional pundits do it as well. They'll be saying stuff about teams like Liverpool being the best team, in the Premier League, and then they'll lose a couple in a row, and they'll be saying, "Oh well, you could see it was going to happen." That and people just change their mind. But so I try and take a lot of the comments with a pinch of salt, and when you see certain people saying, "Oh yeah, well, he's rubbish, that player," and it's the same player that you were saying how great he is. People like Marlon Pack, for example.
Yes,
I've seen quite a few negative comments about him, and he's obviously not a rubbish player. He's obviously not a shit player. But something has gone completely wrong in the last. And what is it? Is it something like 16 games? Did I read? Is that right? Without a win?
Yeah. 16? Yes. 16 games without a win in all competitions, isn't it? It's now.
And even so, we had Bassi take over as caretaker boss.
Shirley.
And played very well against Tottenham. You thought maybe, you had the few of the Twitter social media calls for, Bassi should be the new boss because of that performance alone. And then you've seen the 2 games against Bolton, both away from home, both against the average to good Bolton side. And it's just gone back to how it was when the Cowleys were in charge.
Yeah. If not, I'll even argue. I was going to say,
if not worse.
I was going to say possibly worse.
Oh, yeah.
But we played Bolton twice away, so I suppose it's difficult to say worse, isn't it? But certainly the defending. If you look at the defending for that first goal on Saturday, why are we so poor defensively suddenly? In fact, we're not just poor defensively. I don't know why I'm picking out defensively, because we haven't scored in about, I don't know, a couple of years, is it? I think we've scored, yet Bishop is still like 3rd top scorer in the league somehow, or 4th top scorer in the league.
Did you see those stats of Bishop, that he's got something like a 50% conversion rate? Oh, yeah, goals to shots rate.
Which kind of, and I've kind of said this before. I'm not saying that I'm the all-knowing, but if you give him chances, he generally puts most of them, well, at least on target, but most of them get put away, don't they? It's just a lack of chances being created, isn't it? Because we have people who don't get the ball in the box, because we have people who do crappy 5-yard passes that end up at the opposition's feet in the final third. So so on the pitch it's pretty horrendous. But if that wasn't enough, we have no manager. Now, generally, when a manager leaves a club, it doesn't matter what level you're at, Premier League or Championship, League One, League Two, or even lower league. What normally happens is, because not being funny, we all saw this coming, didn't we? Did we not? We knew this was inevitable. As fans, we could see this was coming. So you'd think, as a board of directors, no matter how much you want to back the manager, surely when it's starting to look a bit dodgy, surely at that stage you start thinking, okay, well, maybe I've never worked in football, so I don't know exactly how it works, but I would assume that if you're a manager of a professional, if you're a CEO or an owner of a professional football club, as things start to get a little bit rocky, you start putting out some feelers.
Some sort of shortlist, I would have thought.
Some sort of shortlist of potential people, especially when the shortlist that we have is mainly of people who are out of work.
Yeah.
You'd think, okay, well, let's go and have a little chat with Manning, see if he might be interested. Let's go and have a little chat with Wilder, see if he might be interested. If the worst comes to the worst, let's go and have a little chat with some of the other names on there. If the worst comes to the worst, it doesn't look like that's happened, does it?
No, I just don't. I mean, we've had. I'll just had a look just then to see. So we've now got Ian Foster.
Yes,
is
now
the
number
favourite.
one.
So he's now the favourite. You've got Liam Manning's next. He was the favourite. Grant McCann's been the favourite today. Lee Bowyer is next on the list. He was the favourite at one point. Chris Wilder was the favourite at one point. Darryl Clark is the next on the list, and I don't think he was quite the favourite, but he was certainly at least second favourite.
He's ruled himself out, though, isn't he?
He's ruled himself. Yeah, he ruled himself out yesterday, didn't he? So why?
I actually did wrote this little thing down. So for those who aren't familiar, who aren't necessarily Portsmouth fans, if there is any listening, but this is how it all works. So when he first got binned, when the Cowleys got binned, Liam Richardson and Chris Wilder were the first to be touted, weren't they? They were the hot favourites to come in. Both were available. Both had links, and although Wilder's was very tenuous that he once said he liked Portsmouth or whatever. Then out of nowhere, Bet Victor chucked in Lee Bradbury into the mix, and suddenly everyone started losing their mind that it could be Lee Bradbury. Anthony Barry started to come into the picture, as did Liam Manning at that stage. Barry and Liam Richardson then ruled themselves out for various reasons. This time last week, Manning was apparently being offered the job and being seen at Roco. And it was expected that it was going to be announced after the.
Is that actually true, though, the Roco thing? Or was that just people just being hilarious? Yeah.
I doubt it. Okay. I did challenge a couple of these things and got told that I was a din on a couple of occasions, which is, I'm not saying it's inaccurate, the description, but yeah, no, it's one of those things, isn't it? So Manning was apparently after the job. He's now dropped off, and McCann came in, and he was the number one up until about yesterday, I think, wasn't he? And then Wilder all the time has been skulking around, always at the 2s and 3s to 1, hasn't he? But then suddenly Ian Foster's come out of nowhere, and Manning is back as second favourite. So Ian Foster, his link is that he was a coach under Paul Cook.
Yep. And he England under 19 is he current England under 19 years?
Under 20s, he's current.
20 now.
So he's. Is that a promotion? I don't know how. I assume they've just followed.
Well, he's done 18, 19, and 20. So
so I assume he's just gone with the same group of players. Through the ages, really, rather than.
Yeah, but don't forget he was at Dundalk way before that. So
I know. Yes. Yeah. Which he's only young. He's only young, isn't he?
Yeah, I know. But the thing is,
what is he, 36,
we're
37?
at the stage now where we're not going to get a big name. We're not going to get Neil Warnock. We're not going to get Chris Wilder. We're not going to get Jurgen Klopp. We're not going to get any big name come in. So are we now just at the stage where we just go, fuck it, I don't care who we get in. Let's just get someone in. Let's just get anyone in. As long as it's not someone, Joey Barton-esque. let's just get someone in. Is that what stage we're at now? That
I don't know. Is that what stage you're at? Is that the stage you're at? Because I'll tell you what, I won't name a name, but at this, I just before we came on, I took this little quote down, and just what I knew. This I won't name the name, but this is a Twitter quote now from somebody actually who I think generally speaks quite sensibly from what I've seen of their posts in the past, but. Just want a new boss now, starting not to really care who it is at this point. Just want the saga to be over with so we can concentrate on getting some happiness back into watching our beloved Pompey. Now,
I saw that,
even if that was the case, that could I would predict that if it doesn't go well with a new manager, that happiness would last about 3 games. I'm saying.
That's the fickleness
nature.
That's the fickleness of the Pompey fan, isn't it? Of the fan in general, and particularly of the Pompey fan. That I mean, we've always commented about this over the years, where we've gone to Fratton Park and within minutes of the kickoff, we're shouting, "Jacket out, cook out." What are you fucking doing? Get him on, etc., etc. Well, hold on a minute. It's not. While we are screaming at the manager within a couple of minutes of the game. So I think you're right. If you get someone in and it doesn't immediately turn around, if they don't get an immediate win with their new group of players, then you will get those people going, "Oh, I'm not sure we've made the right decision with him. He's come in, he's played." It's like I saw a couple of quotes and people saying, "Oh yeah, I watched Port Vale yesterday. They were shit. They were shit. So how's he going to be a good manager?" And it's just like, well, you've watched one game, mate. So you know what I mean? You could watch Liverpool at the weekend and go, "Oh, they were shit against Brighton. That Klopp must be awful."
On the same game, I saw that somebody was quoting that the difference that Darren Ferguson has made in one game, almost as if he was like suddenly his dad. It was like, there you go, bring in fresh ideas. Darren Ferguson, fresh ideas. He's been manager there about 8 times, hasn't he? At Peterborough, doesn't he? His fresh ideas, and then 6 weeks later they sack him again and bring him back when the next manager doesn't work out. It's
just like they can't afford to put someone else's initials on the kit. Get Darren back in. I honestly don't know. I mean, most of these names, other than the big names, I don't know what these people have done. I mean, other than what I've read about them, reading their profiles, I don't know what these managers are like. I don't know what type of football they play. I look on the forums of clubs they're at or they've been at, and it's always the same. You'll get people say, "Oh yeah, he's a good manager, he's a good up and coming manager," but then you'll also get people saying, "Shit, did nothing when he was with us." So. Everyone's you've always going to have a divided opinion, aren't you?
Yeah, of course.
Have you got anyone in particular you'd like to see?
I'd like to see. Well, there's only one that I would actually genuinely get excited about, and I've said it all along, and that would be Chris Wilder. But
I think so, yeah.
But it's not going to happen, is it?
No. You'd have him by now, wouldn't you? You'd have him by now.
Yes. Oh, 100%. 100%. And I initially thought the fact that he hadn't announced that he wasn't was a good thing, but now it's got to a stage where it's just like, well, he clearly isn't, is he? Because but I think the same with the others. I think if we were going to get Manning, surely that would have been done and dusted by now, wouldn't it? If he was your number one target, he's available. The wage thing can't be a massive thing because he's only a League One manager. It's not like he's coming from Championship or anything like that where he's been on a decent wage.
No.
I know there is a big difference in wage in the leagues, but I can't see that he would have been a lot of money. I can't see that an England under-20s coach is on a lot of money. I can't see that compensation would be a massive amount for England because they're going to have people queuing up to take that job, aren't they?
Sell Manning to me. Sell him to me.
Okay, well, I'll sell him on the basis of what I know.
He's got 88 for Milton Keynes, 83 games played, only 28 defeats is what I've seen.
Okay.
That's my knowledge of him. Well, I don't know what type of football they play because I've seen different things from different people saying they play this type of football. No, they don't. They play long ball, etc., etc.
Well, I've seen. This is the thing with Manning is that despite the fact that so he had 83 games at Milton Keynes. I saw one person saying 83 games, is that it? Well, it's still 83 games, and it's 83 games more than Foster's got, or what it was. Ian Foster's got. Yeah. So it's still 83 games. He's won 48% of those games. Bearing in mind he won the majority of the games this season, they lost, which is why he got fired. So if you take out this season, which obviously, apparently they sold 3 top players, so therefore that's one of the main reasons. And apparently any side would struggle with losing 3 top players, one of which was their top scorer. So he's got a decent win rate. Apparently they played nice football, which at the end of the day, how would you feel at the moment? Would you take a manager who didn't necessarily play nice football but won games, such as, let's say, for example, and I'm not saying he's in the mix, but someone like a Pulis back in the day, not a recent Pulis, but Pulis back in his earlier days, in his Stoke or in his Stoke, that's only Stoke, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of days, or someone like an Allardyce who knows how to win I'm not saying that those sort of people, because obviously they're not necessarily League One, but somebody who knows how to win League One games, gets us up, and that's it. Then consolidating Championship, because we're not going to go bang bang. We're not going to go up and up, are we? We're going to go up, going to consolidate probably for a few years, 5-6 years, before even getting to a point where we're maybe even challenging for the playoffs, let alone top, or maybe even challenging for the top half, let alone the playoffs. I think what we'd be doing, we'd be effectively one of those teams that goes up to the Premier League with a lower budget and just aims to stay in that division for a couple of years, then start to build on it. Because whatever you say, clearly it is a long-term project for the Eisners. They're not going to come in. They're not going to spend millions of pounds on players. And I don't have a massive issue with that, to be honest with you. I don't have a massive issue not spending loads of money on it. It was a bit frustrating, but anyway, back to the Manning thing. Yeah, I think the only reason I'd be a little bit annoyed if he did get announced now, just because I'd think, well, why has that taken 2 weeks plus?
Yeah.
And could he not have come in after the Spurs game and actually got a decent, fair enough, the Papa John's trophy, who cares? But it is a day at Wembley at the end of the day, isn't it? And it's a trophy, and it's possibly something that's going to lift your morale.
Yeah.
But he could have maybe got us organised for the Bolton game at the weekend. He could have been there for the couple of days of training we've already had this week.
Yeah.
I don't know. Got Exeter at the weekend. Surely at home, we ordinarily you'd think, well, that's 3 points in the bag.
But do you?
No, now I'm thinking to take a point at home against Exeter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I really don't know. I wouldn't take anyone. I think it's going to be underwhelming, no matter who they announce now, because it's not Liam Richardson and it's not Chris Wilder.
Exactly. So there's no bit, unless they suddenly pluck some big name out that nobody's mentioned, which is not going to happen.
Yeah.
It is going to be underwhelming. It's going to be, it's this chap here, and then you'll get probably 80% of people going, oh, what do we want him for?
Yeah.
Well,
why?
Unfortunately, because we are a mid to lower ability League One team, regardless of how you look at it, and you're not going to attract anyone else with the budget we've got. You're not going to attract anyone better than that, I'm afraid. So we are going to get Dave Smith, who has coached Harvey Aardvark for 5 seasons.
And as much as your average Portsmouth fan loves the club, there's very few managers out there who have a similar sort of love for the club that are going to come in with high expectations, low budget, or not necessarily low budget, but mid-table budget or upper mid-table budget, and not a massive wage. It's just not going to happen, is it?
No. On that manager love for the club comment, how did you feel about the Cowleys parting words? I thought it was quite nice what they wrote. I thought they didn't have to do that. They don't.
No,
people don't, you don't often see managers do that, and I think it does show them to be genuine. I think what they said was genuine. I think there were a couple of slight little, very sly digs.
Did you think?
But put very
well.
What
were the digs? Go on. What were the digs?
I think they said something about and I think there was one about. I mean, he's mentioned it before, hasn't he? When he's done, I can't remember the exact words, but when he's done interviews and he said, "Oh, those who are with us will back us and keep supporting us, and then you'll have the other ones." And I think there was a couple of sly little digs like that in there. But I thought it was a shame.
Yeah,
And I thought what
yeah,
they
it
wrote was
was.
quite nice.
Yeah, and I do. Overall, I agree. There's part of me that also thinks he does like a chat, doesn't he? He does
Oh
like a
yeah,
chat,
oh yeah,
and so
yeah. They probably, yeah. I'll draft something up for you. No, it's all right, Danny. We're all right. You don't have. No, it's all right. Let me
that
write
chapter's
this out.
gone now.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
chapter's
yeah.
gone. Should we
It's all
just
right. I'll send it.
let's
Yeah,
go to IB for a couple of weeks?
yeah,
Let's forget
yeah,
about it, and then we'll come back and we'll apply for the Cardiff job.
yeah. Sitting on the beach, right? No, 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 no. Oh, Danny, just fucking leave it, mate. I'm just finishing off. Yeah.
Ben, we want to go to the bar. I
Yeah.
won't be long. How should I
Yeah.
put this? I want to have a little dig, but I don't want to
Yeah.
make it too obvious.
Yeah,
I
because
want
I'm
to
a
have
nice guy now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did. Yeah, there was part of me thinking, do you know what? That is nice, and he is genuine. It's kind of nice that he says some nice things about the city and stuff like that. But yeah, there was another part of me thinking, oh God, it's 2 pages.
Yeah.
It's 2 pages. Oh, I've got to slide across. I was thinking, oh, I thought it's just winding down now, but oh no, there's more. There's more. But of course, there's more because you asked him a simple
Danny
question.
Cowley.
Yeah, because it's like, so Danny, thanks for joining us. Disappointing draw there with Lincoln's Day. What's your thoughts? 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, well,
Dan, I've got to go now. I've
Lincoln
got
usually
a
set
train to
up like
catch.
this. Yeah.
But their
Yeah.
manager, lovely
Floodlights
lovely
going
chap.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely guy. Sorry, Dan, it's breakfast time now. It's
Yeah.
got to go. Wife's expecting me home, mate. Yeah.
But
So,
yeah, shame.
but bless him. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I do wish him all the best. It's a shame it
Yeah.
didn't work out. Clearly, in the end, I have to say, I do think there's big tactical issues. There's issues with not making changes at the right times, not making the right changes, making some strange changes, weren't there? Like sticking Mingy at right back and stuff like that. It's just what you're doing. I know you're chasing the game, but come on. And it had to change, but it would have been nice to have had. It's almost. It says to me the way it's gone about is almost like. Not very funny. If I run a business, and if I lose a member of staff, if we a member of staff down for a couple of weeks, it's not the end of the world. But we put wheels in motion to try and replace them. Yeah. Or we'd decide whether or not they needed replacing. But I think if I was running a football club, as I said earlier, I definitely would have had some feelers out, kind of just putting some ideas in people's heads. This is what we're all
maybe
about.
they have. Maybe they have had. Maybe they have had, and they've interviewed all these people, and you don't know what goes on, do you? I mean, we've been linked with so many people. Maybe they were all on the shortlist, and they've all come in, and they haven't passed their strenuous interview.
Yeah.
Can you take this club up? Can you take this club up in the next 20 games?
Yeah.
Probably not. Oh, it's not going to work.
No. See you later. Wouldn't it be interesting if somebody who's quite far down? How would you feel, for example, if a Sean Dyche came in? I know it's not going to happen because he's a Premier League manager, but how would you feel like someone like that? Sean Dyche rocks up and says, "Hello, lads."
Well, that would be.
I've always liked Portsmouth.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? If we got someone like that. Yeah, no, it would be good. I mean, that's not my cup of tea, manager, football wise, but
no,
you're not going to argue with a Sean Dyche in your League One Pompey team, are you?
No.
Surely.
No.
He kept Burnley in the Premier League for much longer than anyone would have wanted. So anyone like any big name like that. There was another big name, wasn't there? And I can't remember who it was.
Duncan Ferguson is also at 66 to 1.
Shut up, Duncan Ferguson.
Big Duncan Ferguson and Jimmy Bullard as his assistant. What about that? That'd be a little large.
Jesus Christ. No,
it'd be like me and you, wouldn't it? A serious one and a comedy one.
Yeah.
Which one's which?
Yeah. Who else? There's no one else, is there? It's just
Chris Coleman.
Chris Coleman. Oh, that's who I was going to talk about. Paul Cook.
Oh yeah.
What would your thoughts? What would you think of that? Because I never had a problem with him.
No, I didn't.
I've seen a lot of Pompey fans saying the same, but he was another one which I don't quite know what happened at the end. I think I'd sort of tailed off not of supporting Pompey, but I'd sort of other things had happened that and when I started to go to Fratton Park, it was sort of like people were screaming abuse at Paul Crick, and I thought, well, hold on a minute. I thought this is the manager that's we've played our most attractive football for 10 years. Some really good football as well under Paul Cook, and got us up, and then that sort of just really ended quite badly, didn't it?
I don't know the ins and outs of that either, but a lot of people seem to think they know the ins and outs of it, don't they? I've seen a few things suggesting that he might have liked to drink, for example. On Twitter. So again, pinch of salt. Yeah. It's a little bit like when you hear something ridiculous and then somebody adds the phrase "in America," you think, oh well, maybe it did happen. But if it happens on Twitter, the likelihood is it didn't happen. Oh yeah, I saw.
Why would he be drinking in America?
I saw Duncan Ferguson at Mix Monster Burgers.
Yeah.
I don't want to read anything into it. Yeah,
I think they are taking the piss when they do those.
Some are.
Like,
no, I don't think some. I don't think all of them are. But some are for sure. Okay, well that's where we are. By the time this comes out, which will be Thursday, we're recording on Tuesday. So I'd like to hope the manager has been announced by that stage.
Well, there was talk we were going to have one by the end of today, wasn't there?
They said 48 hours, didn't they? But that's I think it was Neil Allen, wasn't it, who said 48 hours from the news. But who knows? Maybe they're trying to work out the compensation with England under 20s.
Yay.
Do
you know what? I think I would rather have him than anyone that's got anyone that's been in and around League One. Anyone that's any of those managers, any of your Clarks and your Mannings and your etc. Get Foster in, who knows fuck all about League One. Start clean slate, and let's see where we go. See where we go from there.
Deep end, chucking straight in. It'll go one of two ways, wouldn't it? It'll go one of two ways. It's a little bit like if you think about who's the guy McKenna at Ipswich. People are saying, oh, he's only ever coached at Man United. What does he know about League One? But he's come in and he's gotten playing some nice football, but also very solid at the back. So they're actually playing good football and winning games. Yeah. Whereas it can go one of two ways. Because I remember who was the team a couple of years ago when they played Man United in the cup and they had that young 16-year-old right back and they were playing some great football, really good football, and like passing it around, but then losing like 5-0 every game. Yeah. But the quality of their football was really good, and they could raise their game against big teams. And I think they drew against Man United, didn't they? But was it Old Trafford? I can't remember now.
Yeah, who was that?
Someone like Mansfield or something like that, wasn't it?
I thought it was midfielder though. It could have been Mansfield.
No, I'm not sure if it was. They wore all blue. I can't remember who it was. Anyway, we'll find out at some stage. Possibly. We'll forget about it in 2 minutes.
Why? Why will we find out? I don't care. Chesterfield.
No, not Chesterfield. No, it's a league club. I think they were League Two. I don't know. Anyway, it could be that he comes in and gets us playing great football, and we do all right. Or it could be he comes in, gets us playing great football, and we absolutely get tonked every week. Yeah. We haven't got the players to play great football, have we?
No. Oh, see, are we finishing up? Because that was the other thing I was going to ask you. Who would be your who would you get rid of player wise?
Well, okay, quickly, I'll get rid of all the loan players. Every loan player we've got, unless we've got somebody who's going to come in and get people like Scarlett playing well, get Dale having an end product. There's no point. There's just no point in them being there because who's the other loan player? 2 have already gone. There's one more, isn't there? Piggott. Piggott's not playing. So unless the manager actually has plans for these players, get them all out, get new. We have 5 loan slots. Let's get 5 new loanees in. I would get another keeper because not being funny, you can't go in a League One campaign with a 21-year-old and how old does that have a guy? 17, 18, something like that, as your backup. Doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence. I know a lot of people say he's one for the future, but okay, let's play him in 2 or 3 years' time when he's better. So
whole back line.
I think there's some decent players there. I think just needs a bit of confidence. I think Raggett's been poor this season, but it was good last season. I've seen flashes of Morrison to think that he could be okay, not necessarily as a starter, but as a squad player. You've got the new guy.
People really don't like Morrison, do they?
No,
People really don't like him.
Really don't. But the new guy, the old brainiac, Dawes, he's going to be okay, isn't he? The one from Wimbledon, Towley.
Yeah.
I
What is
think
this business, Dawes? What is
have you
this,
not seen
please?
it? You got to look.
I've seen it. I don't know what they're talking about.
He's a brainiac. Character. That's what it is. Dan. His character. He's brilliant. He's got character. He's Joey Essex level brilliant.
That's what we need, isn't it?
Yeah.
Someone with a bit of humour rather than fucking footballing talent, rather than footballing ability. Someone who's a bit wacky.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Is it one of those things where you can coach it back into the players? I don't know. Time will tell. It's difficult to tell. I think we've got some good, decent players there, but obviously we haven't got a decent squad. I don't think there's no depth apart from centre midfield, but then everyone's injured.
Yeah.
So yeah, overhaul needed.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
I
Should we wrap it up there then?
Yeah.
Hopefully. Right. Let's just final one prediction for the weekend. Then we're going to do 2 predictions. One with a new manager. Let's assume it's going to be Foster or Manning. So it's going to be Foster or Manning. So new manager versus Exeter at home. Exeter currently 10th in the league. We are 16th, 17th now, aren't we? I don't know. 15th.
Goal. That's what I want.
Goal for Portsmouth.
Goal. Just a goal. Something to celebrate.
Okay.
No, I'll go back to good performance. Just a good performance, please, because we haven't had one of them for ages. Even the Tottenham game, yes, it was a excellent defensive performance, but we didn't create anything, did we? So let's have an all-round really good performance, please, you bunch of pricks.
Okay, I'm going to go with draw.
I know, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. And that's the other thing.
And probably a really crap draw, really dull, boring draw. We're going to concede first. We're going to scrap a 67th minute goal. Everyone's going, yeah, come on, let's go on and win it. And then nothing will happen for 23 minutes.
Yep. But if you look on Twitter and other social media, what a lot of people are saying is that the worrying thing is how little Pompey fans are caring at the minute, which is very true. And I'm in that position where normally I'd be like, oh, come on, we can win this. And it's just literally, oh, good, Pompey are playing. Who have they got? Oh, I don't care who they're playing. I don't care how we get. Oh, we've gone 1-0 down already. Not even upset that you've got 1-0 down. Just, oh, here we go again.
Here it is. Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, 1-0. Oh, we're not going to win now. Never mind.
Gallows sort of mentality, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, fingers crossed. If you did enjoy this episode, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You need to get yourself out and get a life. Go and watch Havant and Waterlooville or something.
Yeah,
that might be fun. Portchester. That's where you want to go. Go down Portchester. Brett Pittman scored like 35 goals for them this season in like 8 games or something like that. So get yourself down there. In fact, you can get yourself a meal, a 3-course meal with a game down there for just 30 quid. I've looked it up. So that might be worth a trip. Portchester against, I don't even know who they play against, East Cowsvicks or something like that. Yeah. So, but yeah, if you did enjoy this, then you might enjoy our next one, which is about football in general, much more lighthearted, with a bit more fun. You can get in contact with us at eatmygoal22@gmail.com. You could get on Twitter at eatmygoal22. Facebook is the same, facebook.com/eatmygoal22. Drop us a like, drop us a share. Do something. Just subscribe. We've got 14 subscribers now, Dan. We're hitting the big time. I tell you, the sponsorship.
What's that on?
That's on YouTube, yeah. And we're going crazy on the Spotify downloads as well. We are
real subscribers.
I don't know about subscribers on Spotify, but get this. This is the actual fact. 300% growth in the last 5 episodes.
Wow.
I know. We've got probably nearly 25 people downloading, listening to the first 5 minutes and going, why did I download this shit?
Yeah, what the...
Nobody gets to this stage. Nobody gets to the buy stage.
No.
Anyway.
You might as well say anything. Might as well say anything.
Good do. But don't say anything. Don't say anything. What we will say is
You're all
we'll
guts.
see you in the next one. And for now, goodbye.
Bye.